Kuch to hai teri aankhon mein. When Sanjay Leela Bhansali uttered these words and cast Taha Shah Badussha in Heeramandi, the world watched in awe. The roaring success of Heeramandi owes much to Taha, who brought the character of Tajdar Baloch to life, capturing hearts not just in India but across the globe. While some might call him an overnight sensation, the reality is far from it. Behind this triumph lies years of relentless hard work, setbacks, and unwavering determination. With over 14 years in the industry, Taha's journey is a testament to perseverance, talent, and resilience. Today, we delve into the life of this extraordinary actor, uncovering his journey, experiences, and the wisdom he has gathered along the way. Welcome to ITV Gold and New York.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nidhi. It's an honor being here. And thank you for saying such wonderful things.
Of course, of course.
Now it made me blush.
Dil se. Okay, let's start with our questions. Taha, how did you first get into acting, and what was the moment that made you realize this was your calling?
I got into acting, I think, in 2010, when I faced a lot of losses in my business. I was just actually out there supporting my mom, right? I didn't know much about business, but I did know that my mom needed some help. So I was just contributing. But when the financial crisis happened, I couldn't manage my emotions, and I just felt so destroyed from within. Is when I asked myself, what would I want to do? You know, if it didn't give me much money, it didn't matter, but what would internally make me happy? And I realized that just as a, you know, when time was passing by while I was doing business, I always used to research about animation, and I used to research about acting, all right? So I decided that let's kind of go into the creative arts and see and develop the skills that no matter the financial crisis, they won't be able to take it away from me. And that's when I decided to plunge or jump into acting without knowing where it would take me, the unknown.
The unknown. That really fascinates you, and your zodiac sign.
It does,
the
I mean,
mystery, depth,
I think-
Scorpio.
Yeah, well, yeah, Scorpio, yes. Actually, we like to take risks, I believe. Also, we're very passionate people, right? I think that if we don't find almost close to obsession about something, we get bored very easily. But if we find our passion, just like how we find a love in our lives, I think we are completely for that person. Very rarely do we actually find, but when we do, we are all in. So that's what it was for acting.
So thank you for talking about me as well. Okay, was there a particular film that really moved you as a child?
Moved me as a child. I think when growing up, which was in UAE, हम ज़्यादातर मैं ज़्यादातर cartoons देखता था. And I believe that when I watched films like The Lion King, you know, or even like Bambi for that reason, for some reason I would really connect with that. And I've learned a lot of acting through animation, because animation just cannot go wrong. You know, what they show you on screen, the eyes, the movement, it has to send out the right signals for you to emote. So I think a lot of things I've learned from that. But if I have to talk about one film that I've grown up, Hindi films like there was a film called Hum.
Of course.
If you know. Then there was a film called, my mom used to watch it on repeat, this one, Mughal-e-Azam.
Oh.
Right? So these kind of films, my mom was an avid fan of movies, and movies would always play at our house. So I believe that that's where I kind of picked up. So many movies growing up actually just made a change, or just made me, growing up, of course, I loved Salman Khan, I loved Shah Rukh Khan, and their energy, what they brought to the screen. But more than that, their personalities is something that I wanted to follow or be like, you know. I was a fan. I've always been a fan before, yeah. So I think that's where, these are a couple of the movies, yeah.
Did you see Heeramandi with Shah Rukh Khan? And I read somewhere he kissed you while watching it.
No, I wish. I wish, because if we were watching Shah Rukh Khan and me were watching Heeramandi, I swear to God, I would not be watching the screen. I would be
Okay.
watching him, right?
Okay.
I'd be just looking at him, watching the screen. But he did watch it, and it was very fortunate for me to come across him at one of the parties, and he was very kind to actually come up to me and say that, "Beta, tune bahut अच्छा काम किया hai."
Oh.
And then he touched me over here and he kissed me.
He did kiss you.
Yeah, and I loved it because I have as a kid in Dubai, we used to have many shows, Zee Cine Awards and IFA and things like that. So my mom would manage to get some seats. One time it was right at the back, right, and he was like a dot, very very far away, and the lights go off, right, and then everybody's wondering what's going to happen, right, and all of a sudden he just literally appears right behind me in this huge crane. I swear to God, I started shrieking like a girl. Right? Oh my God! Oh! I was chasing around behind him. So I remember that day, and then I remember this day, that which I'm talking about, where he's literally, he's here, and so that's such a big, that's just a, thank you God.
So bachpan mein, were you indulging into some kind of mimicry or learning, watching TV or films and trying to be somebody, some character or the other?
No, I've always wished that I picked up mimicry, but it wasn't like that. For me, it was how it started. Was मैं boarding school में था, और वहाँ पे ना हम सब we were all what 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade में 3 साल boarding school में था, तो मैं अपनी मम्मी को बहुत मिस करता था, ठीक है, तो हम जो बच्चे मम्मी को मिस करते थे ना, we would come in a group और सब साथ में रोते थे, हम सब साथ में रोते थे, ठीक है, तो फिर जो लड़कियां थी जो मुझसे छोटी थी, तो उनको हंसाने के लिए मैं अलग-अलग कैरेक्टर्स करता था.
Oh, sweet.
All right, to make them laugh, I guess, and then that kind of became an integral part of myself, which I then kind of took up to a little bit on stage, then to modeling, and then finally. But yeah, that's where it started. It was just to make people laugh. It was just like joke. It was like how we used to watch cartoons together. So it would be cartoon representations of. It can be anybody. It can be Dexter. It can be whoever it is. We would just make fun of that. End of the deal was that they had to smile, and that was the whole goal. Yeah.
And you'll win the hearts at the end of it, of course. Heeramandi has been a game changer for you. How did the industry's perception of you change after the success of the series?
दरवाजे और खुल जाते हैं, आपको meetings मिल जाती हैं. They know you that you can perform now in versatile roles. Of course, Mr. Bhansali's blessing is what actually opened all these doors up. So a big thank you to him. Without him, this would not be a restart to my career. So I'm very, very grateful to Mr. Bhansali. And of course, the industry, right now, पहले तो हमें जो भी काम मिलता था, मतलब it was by God's grace. जो आता था, या तो आप ले लो, या तो फिर आप घर बैठो, right? At least now, I think we've reached a stage where we get to choose which direction we want to take our career path, and that is something not many actors get to do. And so again, like I said, very grateful. And the industry has been, I think the industry just waits for you to prove yourself. And वो सबकी career में होता है. यहाँ पर भी जो भी आपने भी किया है, even in your career, you would have to prove yourself on almost on a daily basis. Every day, right?
Tell me
So
about
it's just that our industry is a bit more competitive, right? Because not everybody can be the lead actor. Only इतना ही जगह है, right? So there's so much more effort certain people need to do, and then kismat. Kismat आपके हाथों में नहीं है. That's the universe. That happens when it happens.
How was Sanjay Leela Bhansali on the set?
I love Mr. Bhansali. I feel somewhere I would like to be like him. Even a little bit. पर मैं जानता हूँ कि सर के दिमाग में जो है, वो फिल्म मेकिंग के अलावा कुछ और सोचते ही नहीं है.
Wow.
Right? It is just films, music, acting, aesthetics, cinematography, production design. मतलब यही.
He's perfect.
Like that's all he
Yeah.
thinks about. You can see it 24 hours, whatever he's on set and outside. All he does is absorb. And for me, it's been the greatest learning of my life. Ki how can a person just completely be focused for so long? So that is something that I took away. I believe that there's a lot of things riding on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Right? He's not making a children's film, right? He is making the most epic series of India, right? Which has gone global. So he has a lot of pressure, and I believe that what he tries to do is to be as perfect as possible, right? And that's why I believe that he expects excellence from all of us, right? And we just get attracted to that. And whenever he's on set, we ourselves want to give him our 200%. No matter what anybody says or does. End of the day, जो दिखता है, वही audience देखते हैं. The backstory nobody sees. So this is what I believe. He has, and he creates magic. We've all seen it.
He does that. And how was working with the co-actors on the set?
Well, they're all beautiful women, right? I can't complain. Like I said, big blessing. Of course, my closest connection or my heart was always with Farida ma'am. She is absolutely the most loving and the most accepting. And no, she doesn't raise her voice ever, no matter what she's going through internally. And I know that she had back pain and lots of things, but she was on set, and you just, when I used to talk to her, तो वो हमें बहुत कहानियाँ बताती थी कि जब ये वैनिटी नहीं हुआ करता था, जब ये कुछ सेट्स नहीं हुआ करते थे, तो हम लोग सब मतलब लीड एक्टर्स, जूनियर एक्टर्स, स्टोरी एक्टर्स, एक झाड़ था, झाड़ के नीचे आके आप बैठ जाते थे. जैसे आपकी बारी आई तो वो बुलाते थे आपकी, एंड देन आप वापस जाके बैठ. So there was nothing. People never complained, So you get to realize how blessed all of us are, Otherwise आपको, if you had to work at those times, that was real effort. धूप में खड़े होके, but still have to look good, still have to give your best, So many things. So she was definitely a person जो मैंने बहुत time spend किया उनके साथ.
So you got a lot of insights खूब पुराने ज़माने में कैसे होते थे actors, or maybe a little bit of love affairs and stories.
We got a lot of backstories, yes. I also got her love story.
Oh, really?
Which was, it was very heartwarming because the way she spoke about her husband, God bless his soul, all she spoke about was, you only love once, and that one person is always
प्यार
yours.
एक बार ही होता है.
Yeah, that's what she said.
You still believe in that?
I mean, I guess
You've
I grew up.
You've seen success, like,
I have grew
from
up
every
believing
nook and
in
corner.
that. I have grew up believing in that, and I do want to believe in that. It's not that प्यार एक बार होता है, but there is. I think now love has become very fickle. It's just become a right swipe or a left swipe.
True.
But you only realize love is when when you sometimes don't have that person.
And you had a dialogue in Heeramandi जिसमें आपने कहा था कि जब आपको इश्क होगा तो पूरे लाहौर. Can you say that for our audience?
Sure.
Yes.
तो मैंने ये कुत्से से कहा था कि कुत्से जिस दिन ताजदार बलोच को इश्क होगा उस दिन पूरा लाहौर इश्क करना हमसे सीखेगा.
Yeah.
It was. So yeah, a lot of stories from Farida ji, and of course being on set with Manisha ma'am and Sonakshi and Aditi, Richa even, all these lovely ladies putting in their 100%, 200% in, and just always looking gorgeous. I've got to just play with these incredible actors, and it's truly, not every actor gets to play with other actors who are really so good. So especially Manisha ma'am, उनके साथ जो scenes थे, she's so composed, so calm, at the same time so regal.
Yes, absolutely.
At the same time so threatening. So amazing. It just blessings.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced while portraying Tajdar Baloch, and how did you prepare for the role?
I think the biggest challenge was sticking with that character, क्योंकि हमारा जो shoot था ना वो यानी 1 महीने 2 महीने का तो था नहीं, 1.5 साल का था.
Oh, wow.
ठीक है, तो I spent about 100+ days, but divided over a year and 3-4 months. So many a times बड़े breaks आ जाते थे बीच में, and the way that you have to still keep that character intact, right, and still keep all his backstories in your mind, but at the same time wait, then get back on set. I think that was quite challenging. Another challenge was which was a good challenge, all the challenges are good, made me tougher, कि जब हम सेट जाते थे तो हमें स्क्रिप्ट मिलती थी. फिर जैसे हमने मतलब मेकअप और हेयर सब करके हम तैयार होकर हम बाहर जाते थे, तो बाहर जाते जाते हमें एक और स्क्रिप्ट मिलती थी जो अलग था. यू नो, और धीरे धीरे वो चेंज और होता था जैसे हम सेट की तरफ चल के जाते थे. सो आई बिलीव दैट यू हैव टू बी ऑन योर टोज एंड एक्सट्रीमली अवेयर, you know, you of what is happening, what happened, what will happen, what are you supposed to portray at the same time, the subtext, the story, so many things, right? So मुझे लगता है that was quite challenging कि on the spot आप करो, हाँ, on the spot फिर आप connection भी build करो, you know, line भी मत सोचो. So I think that that was quite challenging. Yeah, these were two things most, but other than that, जब आप संजय सर के सेट पे आप जाते हैं तो आप वो सेट नहीं है, वो एक टाइम मशीन है. हाँ, you walk through it and you go into a different time period. अब ये नहीं सोचते कि आप अभी 2025 में हैं या 2024 में हैं. आप you have reached the 1940s और अभी आप you can see the architecture, you can see the whole vision. So it's very it helps an actor to imagine where he is. So he makes that very easy. Or of course उनका जो direction है, उनके जो, and I have to say a big you know, appreciation goes out to you know, to the whole team who made this film look so good. You know, Sudeep sir, अगर आप जानते हैं, so he is the one who's done the lighting and the you know, the cinematography. He is so brilliant. He's so brilliant, and trust me, I'm looking so good, or whoever is looking so good is only because of his lighting. He has made us look so perfect.
If you really had an option to get into a time machine, where would you go?
Where would I go? You know, I've always thought of that. If I had to travel as an actor, right, then I personally have an inclination of going backwards, right? मुझे बहुत पसंद है the Aryan race, Mughal Empire, you know, the Mesopotamian times, or the mythology, you know, whatever it is. I like to travel back. I like to see these different worlds. कि you know, और अच्छी कहानियाँ मिले. But those are times, simpler times, is where I would like to travel.
Not the future, not.
See, I think the future has too much to do with tech.
AI.
You know, but the past has to do with humans, has to do with heart. So that's why I want to go back.
You had a fantastic start when you started with Yash Raj Films. How was that experience and how did that shape you? Love ka do hai.
At the time that I started, of course, it was the biggest break that somebody from outside could get. उस वक्त मुझे पता नहीं था कि ऐसी भी कोई चीज़ होती है कि लोग लॉन्च होते हैं. अच्छा, मुझे पता नहीं था. मुझे पता था कि आप you're an actor, you go, you do audition, मिल जाता है काम. मतलब ये मेरा बिलीफ था. तो जब I got that, of course, it changed my life. It definitely put me on the map कि कोई नया बंदा आया है. What's next, we don't know. But Yash Raj has launched him. So, of course, it was known by the industry, which was a big positive point. After Yash Raj, also I realized that you understand now that acting is not just acting. It's the business of acting. It's the business of filmmaking, right? So everybody's destiny or life changes Friday to Friday, right? So that you learned afterwards. You learned that just knowing acting and going doesn't work. You have to be able to get returns on investment, right? And if you're not able to do that, then, well, you know, the business is not going to run. So you have to consider yourself as a business. So when you do that, then there's so many aspects that one has to keep in mind. Marketing, demand, how you increase your demand, how do you increase your network, how do you increase your reach, so many things as a business. So after Yash Raj, you realize that these are all the things that you're lacking and you have to build, so a great launch. If I didn't have that launch, to abhi to I would be much further away. So I think that Yash Raj has definitely given me an incredible launch, and a big thank you to them too.
And you recently had this 3-film deal with Ramesh Sippy Production. Talk about that.
I wish I could talk more. I can just tell you that the script that I had heard, and of course Rohin Sippy sir के साथ मैंने एक और कुछ काम किया था, and because of that, we met each other, and he told me this script, and I was so excited to hear it. But जब मैंने सुना, I till date, I am telling you that's one of the best scripts I have heard.
Wow.
And it just has the right ingredients. It makes you laugh and cry at the same time, and brilliant writing. I'm just hoping that releases soon. Can't tell you more than that.
Sure.
But yes.
So when you're not shooting or filming, what do you like to do in your quiet moments, or what do you like to reflect on?
Well, like, my one guru has told me that he taught me acting, plus he does a lot of things, plus he's a magician, he's a lot of things. Right? बहुत काम करते हैं, कुछ अलग हैं लोग. Right? So he told me, because he had done the microscopic surgery in the fastest amount of time, in the smallest microscopic surgery.
Wow.
And his name came in the Limca Book of Awards. Right? And his colleagues asked him कि आपने ये कैसे किया? आप 9 बजे आते हैं हमारे साथ, आप 5 बजे निकल जाते हैं हमारे साथ. So what, and then, when did you do it? And then he gave me this wisdom in which he said, it doesn't matter what you do between 9 and 5, but what makes you is what you do between 5 and 9, right? Is what makes you in those hours. So my 9 to 5 is basically, let's say, if I go to shoot, but that doesn't count. वो तो हम मजे कर रहे हैं. पर जो training period है, that is in the time that nobody is looking, that nobody is around, right? So that you keep getting better in different aspects, in acting, of course, in dancing. हमारे वहाँ पे तो dancing, action. अगर आपको lead actor बनना है तो आपको इन सारी चीज़ों पे आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. And then, of course, your communication skills, your presentation skills, your इतने सारी चीज़ें हैं. So I just 24 hours is just dedicated to acting. लोग तंग हो जाते हैं, मुझसे तंग हो जाते हैं, but क्या करें, करना पड़ता है.
So talk about some fan moments, some crazy fans after Heeramandi.
I very difficult for me to consider my fans as crazy. For a person who has not gotten any fans for 13, 14 years, while even doing some good work but never being appreciated, all of a sudden you get people from across the globe messaging you, and more than that, these really lovely women from, I think, Norway. They had just won a crown. They were there at Cannes last year, and I was somewhere near the pavilion, and then these girls started screaming, right? So everybody started hearing this girl scream, and then they started running, and then they started saying "Tajdar, Tajdar," and unbelievable. It was really unbelievable that from such a distance they could actually recognize me, and that too, I was in a little bit of a beard, right? So for those things, for those girls to go all crazy and to come and cry, they started crying. That is a blessing.
Yeah.
And I don't call them crazy.
Did
I call
they try
them.
to say Alamzeb's dialogue to you?
Yes, I think every girl that I have has said it.
Who did the best?
I don't think you can compare, who did the best. It's just they did it, and that itself is so beautiful.
So flattering, of course.
Of course.
You came to New York for a fashion show. Let's talk about that now.
Yes. I came a couple of days back, and Paromita, her brand is Paroma Al Mod, Roma Almod, and it's the first time that she reached out to me on Instagram, and I thought that's very very good. It's a good opportunity. Why not? Let's go and try out the New York Fashion Week, and let's see how how people do it, what's happening. And yeah, I came here, walked for her. She's been actually more than just a designer. I believe that she's actually come out to be a really good friend and very kind-hearted. And I hope and pray that our relationship doesn't just stop here at this trip, but we get to do much more in the future. But yeah, she's a true hustler, and I wish her the best.
So before we wrap up, can you leave us with that one dialogue from Heeramandi that made everyone fall in love with Taha Shah Badussha?
I can try. मैं आपको देख के बोलता हूँ.
जी.
Okay. निधि जी, मैं आपके लिए बोलूँगा.
जी. Thank you so much.
Thank you. एक बार देख लीजिए. दीवाना बना दीजिए. जलने को है तैयार हम. परवाना बना दीजिए.
Oh my God. You took it.
Yeah. I'll keep it in my pocket.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Taha, for
Thank
talking
you.
to ITV Gold. Lovely. What a pleasure having you.
What a pleasure. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you so much.